The more you obsess over a calisthenics skill, the harder the skill will become. I want to take you through my planche versus my front lever training progress. One I cared about more, which was the planche. One I cared about less, which was the front lever. The way that you think about a calisthenics movement is going to completely change the way that you perform that movement. So when I started training both these skills, I was doing the exact same for both, and I was making little to no progress in both. I was hard stuck on certain progressions. It was at this point that I thought I need to put all of my eggs in one basket and just train the planche completely on its own. I had a huge obsession with the planche. I really wanted this skill, and the front lever I just didn't really care about. Fast forward a year, I've made no visible progress in my planche, and I've made so much progress with my front lever that I didn't care about. Why is this? What was I doing in the planche versus the front lever? The planche, I wasn't mentally ready going into it. I was always thinking, oh, this skill is gonna fail, it's not gonna look good. I need to focus on my posterior pelvic tilt, I need to focus on my core, I need to focus on every little detail instead of actually visualizing how I wanted to go in. With the front lever, I was pretty much just doing the skill, slowly lowering myself into the position, and I did that as a habit instead of a routine. Session will completely change the quality of the movement that you're doing. There's the lack of commitment, you not actually being ready to go into the skill, you thinking, oh, I built up this skill, now I've got to actually do the skill. This is scary. Overthinking the movement. If you're going into the movement thinking of 12 different things that you need to keep in check, you're going to keep in check nothing. Next, there's hesitation, and this isn't just hesitation before the movement, this is actually hesitation within the movement. It breaks the flow of the movement that you're trying to do. All of this, even if you do manage to get yourself into some kind of half form of the skill, it's not going to progress you in the way that you want to be progressed. What this then leads to is weak commitment, so not actually properly going into the skill, more just trying to graze along the skill or hoping that the skill works instead of taking command over it. This can be within your planche, your front lever, even within your balancing positions like your handstand. If you are obsessing over the handstand, you are going to overcorrect. You are going to be stiff in the movement, you're going to be digging in, you're going to be trying your hardest, and that's what actually makes the handstand not work. Now, because we care so much about the skill, we're going to put it on a pedestal. But what we really need to do is really just press that skill down so that it's below us mentally. We want to mentally be above the skill. We want to mentally know that we can do the skill even if we can't. This isn't to say just be stupid, attempt full planche when you're on tuck planche. This is to say when you're actually ready to go for full planche, be ready, not just physically, mentally. By doing this, by bringing yourself on top of the skill, you're creating this feeling of familiarity. That gives you the ability to better express your actual skill level as opposed to this restrained skill level that you're putting out. That's all cool just to say, just be stronger, just be mentally more ready to attack the skill. But how do we actually do this? It's a commitment. The same way we train our body to adapt to the movement, we've got to train our mind to adapt to the movement. And it starts by being overconfident. It starts by tricking your brain into thinking you can do something that you can't, by really pulling that pedestal down to a level that you can actually see the goal that you're aiming for. Let's say, for example, I'm going for my first full planche attempts. I'm not going to think, oh, this is going to be such a hard skill to do. I'm going to hype myself up for this skill. Instead, I'm going to visualize that I can do full planche presses. I can do full planche push-ups. This is an easy skill. This is a warm-up that I'm going into. And if I don't want to visualize myself doing very aggressive planche push-ups, I can visualize myself being weightless. I can visualize myself being tied up by balloons, by helium balloons, and they're lifting me up as I do the planche. By visualizing, I've prepared my body to go into something harder than the actual planche. It's not just the planche, this is every skill, and that's not the only way that you can think about it. You can do this for handstands as well. Instead of overthinking, oh, I've got to be doing step A, step B, step C, I just visualize the position I want to be in, I want to stay in, and I visualize myself doing that before the movement. By creating those feelings, I release any unnecessary tension within the movement, and that makes the movement so much more efficient, flow so much better, and I get way more out of my attempts. In conclusion, you still need to respect the skill. You can't just go from tuck planche attempts to full planche attempts just because you believe. This is a very good way to get yourself injured and take yourself out for a few months. Respect the proper progression line, but downplay the progression that you're supposed to be on, whether that be planche, front lever, handstand, human flag, whatever you're practicing within that skill. downplay it, make it feel easy, make it feel that you can do this in your sleep.
If you want some help progressing not just with the physical side of calisthenics, but also the mental side of calisthenics, all the while with a training system that treats calisthenics like a game instead of a discipline that you have to get done in order to get the result, then just click the link in the description and fill out the form.